is it really this black and white idea of either you run away and that's why you move abroad, or you're running towards something? So it has to be one or the other. And I actually think both can be true at the same time. Hi, and welcome to Beyond the podcast. I'm your host, V. And in Beyond the podcast, we talk about going beyond borders. And today's episode is inspired by something that I saw online. There was this whole discussion going on of people who were talking about, okay, you moved abroad to escape your life, but this country, there's nothing wrong with it. And if you keep on escaping, then you won't be happy there. It's not like the grass is greener over there. Just be happy with where you're at right now. And I was just going a little bit into this rabbit hole and curious about what people were actually responding to this. And I felt like, I have something to say about this as well. Because is it really this black and white idea of either you run away and that's why you move abroad, or you're running towards something? So it has to be one or the other. And I actually think both can be true at the same time. So I want to dive into this with you because perhaps you have been asking yourself this as well. Perhaps you are contemplating whether you want to move abroad, or perhaps you are living abroad already and are wondering if you made the right decision. So I think often it comes down to this question: did you actually move abroad, or do you want to move abroad to escape your current life? Perhaps you are in a job you hate, or perhaps you just left a toxic relationship, or perhaps you're just not feeling satisfied with the country you're in. And if you listen to my recent episode about why I moved to Australia twice and why I left the Netherlands, you know that I had my reasons to leave the Netherlands. But still, it took me 5 years to make that move. So I was also contemplating and analyzing this question and asking myself, did I run away from something? And part of me, yes, I didn't want to stay in that situation anymore. I felt like, okay, this country is not for me. So in that sense, I could say, yes, the grass is greener somewhere else. And because I had lived in Australia before, I knew that I liked that place much more. So I had a realistic comparison that I was making. But at the same time, that was not just it. It was not like I wanted to just run away and be done with that place. I was really focusing also on my vision for the future, because otherwise, if I had clarity on that vision before, I wouldn't have stayed in the Netherlands for 5 years. I would have made that move way before. But actually, I was in this space of, okay, I know this is not the place for me, but I don't know yet what else I want in my life. So I was really taking my time to actually work on that vision and to ask myself, okay, if this is not what I want anymore, then what is it that I want? So in that sense, for me, it was really this combination of, okay, perhaps part of me wants to run away, or in my case, just move out. But there's another part of me that wants to run towards something. And that's also what I wanted to focus on. So in that sense, I don't think that it's always bad when people feel like, okay, I want to get out. I want to run away from this place. But I think where the issue is when people just focus on that and then don't really have the intention about what their life abroad could look like. So they were just so focused on getting out that then once they get somewhere else, they actually don't know what they want in their lives. And I've seen this with some coaching clients of mine as well. They were so relieved when they moved abroad that they felt like, oh, finally, I took this step. I'm out of this place. I left this job that I hated, or I left this toxic environment behind, whatever was going on. And now I'm finally in this new place, ready to make this new start and build my life here. But then because they hadn't really thought about their intention of this new chapter before, and they were so focused on leaving, they felt a little bit lost, and they were like, okay, but then what do I actually want right now, and who do I want to become in this new place? And when that happens, you can feel like you're in this gap or in this in-between phase. But it's really about then asking yourself, okay, what do I want next? What am I moving towards to or running towards to? And it's never too late to ask yourself that question. So I feel like when I saw all that judgment online of people saying like, oh, you should just stay It was not my post, by the way. It was someone else who shared this, and a lot of people were like, "Yeah, people always think the grass is greener somewhere else, but it's not. Every country has their problems." And yeah, it's true. Like, of course, nowhere is perfect, but it's really asking yourself this question of, okay, which place is the most perfect for me or what I'm looking for in my life? So even if it feels like, okay, I left and I haven't really thought about that intention yet, it's never too late to ask yourself this. Maybe right now, this is the moment that you can start questioning, okay, what do I want in this next chapter of my life? What do I want my life to look like? My life abroad to look like? Who do I want to become here? And yes, it can be great if you already asked yourself this beforehand, before you made the move, but it's never too late to ask yourself this right now or in the future. I think it's also something that is great to do more regularly. I do weekly reviews, monthly, yearly. I do check-ins with myself to see if I'm still on track with my vision and my goals. And I do this for my personal life, but also for my business. And it's a great way to check in with yourself and to see like, okay, am I still on track? Am I still aligned with the person that I want to become? Do I have to change direction here? And I think this is the same with this question of, are you running away from something, moving towards something? And now we're specifically talking about moving countries, right? But you can do this in any area of your life and ask yourself, okay, what is happening here? Am I in this escape, or am I focused on the intention that I have for the change that I want in my life? And this is a very different energy that then you're working with. Escape can really feel like getting out, a relief, but also like you're pushing yourself. And when you focus on moving towards something, it's more like you feel a pull. It's a desire. It's a vision that you have. And it's a much more abundant energy to be in. So if you feel like, okay, I've been focused a lot on what I don't want, start looking at what you do want in your life and make that switch. And it can make such a big difference. So if you haven't moved yet, or if you perhaps living abroad and you're thinking about, should I stay here? Should I go? A very honest question you can ask yourself, and what you can start with is, what am I moving towards to? Or is my focus on running away from something? Or is my focus on moving towards something? And I think this question, reflecting on this, can already make a big difference. It's really helpful to ask yourself, what is my intention here? Like, what do I actually want for my future? And a test you can do if you feel like, oh, perhaps I have been focused a lot on escaping, is this question of, imagine that you would have a magic wand and you could just make something disappear that you don't like. Let's say you hate your job. Let's say you could, with this magic wand, just have your job disappear. Would you then still want to make a move? And if the answer is yes, it means that you have more reasons to make that move, and that you feel like, yes, it comes from a desire. It doesn't come just from an escape. But if the question is no, it doesn't mean that you should stay or not should move at all. But it's interesting to then ask yourself, okay, so if the job would disappear, maybe what else is actually pulling me or pushing me towards this move or towards making a change? And then it's very interesting to see which answers come up for you. But I think eventually what's really helpful is to think about the intention of who you want to become. And what I like to do, for example, is often do a visualization to really tune into my future self. And that sounds maybe a little bit abstract if you're not familiar with that, but it's really, you could think about it in a way of really imagining what you want your life to look like and who you would be in that future life. So it's really thinking about your vision. And if maybe meditation is not the best way for you, or you haven't practiced a lot with that yet, you could also make a vision board, for example, and make a very practical image. And I also spoke about this with one of my coaching clients in a previous episode. He actually shared how transformational this vision board was for him, and how he actually saw that some things that he put on paper, like images he put on paper, actually came true not that long after. So I will link that in the show notes as well, so you can listen to how that journey had been for him. So there are different ways to really focus on what you want in the future. And if you really feel like, I don't know, visualization, vision board. I actually don't even know what you're talking about or where to start. Or even maybe perhaps you have tried all of these things and you still feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm stuck here somehow. Feel free to reach out. This is what I do with my coaching clients as well. And we can go much deeper into these topics than what I share with you in the podcast. So that's an option for you as well. What I want you to take away from this, whether you're still going to move abroad, whether you're living abroad, whether you feel like I have been running away from something or running towards something, it doesn't really matter at this point. What I want you to take away is that you can make a different choice today. If you feel like I have been running away, okay, what has this been telling you and what do you want for your future? Or if you feel like, okay, I have been running towards something, great. What is it that you're actually working on then? What is your vision? And just start from there. There's no failure in that sense. There's no right or wrong. It's not wrong, as I said, when you leave something behind that no longer feels aligned. It's not wrong if you feel like I want to go somewhere else where the grass might be greener for me. But really think about the intention of who you want to become in this next chapter. I think that's really the starting point for which many beautiful things can evolve for you. So I want to leave you with that. Thank you so much for listening. If you got anything out of this episode, feel free to share it with me. I love to hear that. You can leave a comment or send me a DM and share this with anyone you feel could benefit from this episode as well. And don't forget to follow and subscribe so that you stay up to date on future episodes. And it also helps me to share this podcast with a bigger audience. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.